How you doing? I'm Zach Zufelt from Royal Flush Plumbing and Heating. Today we are outside my shop. It's a beautiful day. I apologize if you're getting any wind in the sound, but we've got this prop set up here to show you how to rebuild these valves. But let me tell you, these valves are real. These are real valves that we take out of other places with all of the parts that are seized together and all the problems that you'd come across. So right now we're going to show you how to rebuild this one. Let's get going. Here's all the parts you're going to need to rebuild the valve. The Zip Seat Extractor, which is a dynamite tool for removing the seats. The seats are one of the biggest challenges to this rebuild. Most people end up stripping them because it's a soft brass seat, and the tools that were available prior to this made it difficult, that one part. But I'm going to show you how that works. That makes it super easy. You absolutely want to rebuild the entire valve. They'll try to sell you this cartridge, it's called TA10, and say that's all you need. Once you open up that valve, there's 21 parts inside there, and you're opening up a can of worms. Some of the gaskets are rotted or dry. I'm telling you, you put it all back together and you're gonna have a problem if you don't rebuild the whole thing right off. Okay, I had to come into my truck to get this valve in a vise so I can remove the stuff that I need off it. So I've got this valve, the body of the valve is in the vise, nice and strong. Now, I'm going to remove this bonnet nut along with this spindle. The whole thing's going to come out. But what I have to do first is take the handle, make sure the valve is all the way closed, which is clockwise, and then I want to open the valve all the way up. If it's not open, it won't come out. It'll bind in there. So then I go back half a turn. Now I know that spindle is detached from the rear wall. Then I'm going to put this on here and I'm going to give it a jolt and break that free. When I'm taking this off, I'm going to be careful not to drop this gasket. And we're going to use these two pieces. Now, the tricky part typically is getting the seats out. So you can get a shot inside there. What we have is the Zip Seat Extractor that makes this job absolutely easy as pie. This thing usually strips out every single time, well, almost every time when you use the other tools, and I'll show you what that's all about. I happen to know that this is a new seat because it's a brand new valve, and all the new seats are hexagon. You need the hexagon tool for that. The old seats are square. So we have a Zip Seat Extractor to remove the old seats if you have those, or the new seats. This one's going to take this seat out. So I'm going to put this in and it'll line itself up and you just fit it in like that. Then you take your impact gun, put it in like that, put it on reverse, and I'm going to start off slow. And it comes right out like that. No stripping going on there. Now, without moving a thing, that's the cold seat. That's how that fits on there, right there. That's the cold seat, okay? Without moving anything now, I've got the hot seat built right onto this bit. So I'm gonna put it right back in, start off slow, and there it is. This thing works absolutely unbelievable. If any part of this valve is difficult to do, that's the difficult part, and this takes that guesswork out. We get these seats out every single time without stripping them with this tool. Unlike the old tools that were not powered like that. We'll show you that a little bit more later, but let's get back to rebuilding the valve. Okay, so now we're going to remove the old valve, all of the trim first. I'm going to take my box cutter and pop this little escutcheon out. Careful. I'm going to take my screw gun with a Phillips head, number 2. I'm going to take this out. Now, before I take this handle off, I gotta do the same thing. I gotta close this and then open it up all the way, and then I'm gonna go back half a turn. Now I take this handle off. Now, that doesn't always come off very easy. So what do we do if this handle is stuck on here? What if that handle's stuck on there? Because what I'll do is this. I break that off like that because I'm going to be replacing that valve anyways. I'm going to be replacing that whole thing. The next thing we do is we take out this cone escutcheon, pop this right off. I'm going to take my screw gun with the number 2 bit again. Take that out. Take that out, and then this whole piece is going to come right out with the diverter. Just like that. Now this is where we might have a hard time getting this piece off, and so I'm going to put this wrench on just like this. Again, coming off counterclockwise. Everything comes apart counterclockwise. And I'm going to give it a couple taps like this. That's that. Now that that's off, I can remove the rest of it by hand, taking this gasket right out along with the bonnet nut and this old TA10 cartridge. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to take our new one that's already all assembled with the new gasket, and we're going to be putting that back together. But first, take a look at the guts in here. Get a close-up in there. These are the older tools that were used to remove the seats. This tool right here for the square seat that you'd put in and remove that. This is for the hot seat way in the back. Then they came out with this wrench, which is a Raven tool. Now, this works kinda. It's got all the other tools you kinda need on it, except you can't put the new seat back together with it, and you can't remove any of the new seats with it because this only has the square seat on it. And again, you're doing it all by hand. Good luck with that without wrecking something. And then they came out with this. This is the new Symmons tools that has actually square on one side, the hex on the other, and some of the other tools to make your life easy. But again, relying on manpower, finesse, and seasoned experience to try to get that out without stripping it. And even the best plumbers on earth strip these things. Now we're going to remove this seat in here that's already messed up. Let's see which one fits in here. That one doesn't seem to want to fit. There we go. So the old seat, so I'm going to take my socket bit that fits right in there with the power bit that goes onto my impact driver, and now slowly with a little bit of leverage pushing forward, and there it is. Look at that. Check this out, and look at this seat. Look how munched up this seat is. This thing gets out even stripped seats. Somebody's already been in here trying to get this thing apart and didn't do a very good job with those other tools. Without skipping a beat, without changing my bit, I'm going to put this in here, make sure that seat in the back accepts this. It may not. Okay, so this seat's already been changed. Yep, we got an answer for that too. So this is the new seat wrench. It's going to go in there, fit in there perfectly. Same thing. I'm going to start off slow, push forward a little bit. Oh, that one came out easy. And there you go. Beautiful. Now, we're going to put the new seats in. I like to do this by hand first. Put that in there. Make sure you get the threads on there. I can feel that going on nicely. And then I'm just going to give it a little boost with this. and that's in there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is get a beautiful brand new seat, and I'm going to use this same wrench, put it right on there like that. Actually, like I said, I'm going to take this out, put it in by hand first, get the first couple threads going. That's perfect. And I'm going to put this on here, and that's in there. Next, deal with the diverter. The diverter, I'm going to take this 5/16 Allen wrench and open this up. Now we're going to want to remove this little piece right here. There's a little brass piece that goes inside that plastic piece. And then we can use this to remove the extract it, the number 5 extractor. And you just turn it counterclockwise, and that bites into it. And we just keep turning, and here it comes. That comes out. That's a white one for tub shower. It will be a black one if it's shower only. Looks exactly the same. Then we're going to take our new one, and we're going to put a little bit of heat grease on it, or plumber's grease, just like that, right around that area. And we're going to put it right back the way we found it. And push that back all the way in. This guy back on. Okay, now we're going to put our Allen wrench back to work here and put the cover plate on, making sure that we still are lined up, straight up and down with our diverter valve. Make sure we got heat grease on this part as well. I can feel it's already in here because that's the way they pack it. You can see it in there, but I would put more in there if I needed to. We don't need to. I'm gonna make sure the thing is open, which I already did. Close it all the way, and then open it all the way, and then close it back just a half a turn. And there we are. I got my gasket inside here, and this whole thing will just spin right in like that nicely. Then I give it one little crank with the channel locks. You don't have to over tighten this. It's got a gasket in there. So give it a good little crank like that. Handle, make sure that's going to move. That moves. So turn that. Now, this is a packing nut right here. I'm going to want to tighten that up a little bit. Just a little half a turn so it's snug. That'll make the handle feel like it's not super loose. You can feel it has a nice turning weight to it now. And that allows it to not leak out the front there. Next thing, we'll open up our faceplate here. Screws come with it. And I'm going to put the faceplate on here, but before I do, I'm going to line up that diverter valve again. This goes in here. And remember, we lined it up so it was straight up and down. So I'm going to put that just like that. Now, I left this cone off specifically so that I can see where my screws are going, so I can line them up with the screw holes right behind this plate. Makes it a lot easier. Once I get that in by hand there a little bit. And this one over here. Get that started. Then I can see my number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. I don't like to use the gun on this because you can over tighten it and crack the fiberglass or the faceplate. So you want to do this with a little more finesse. Now, once we're in here good and tight so that I see there's the seal is right up against the fiberglass or the tile or whatever else you have back here, you want to make sure that all around here is nice and tight up there. Once that's done, I'm going to try the diverter, make sure that works all right. Feels great. Now, before I put the next part on, I'm going to do this. I'm going to close the valve all the way, and then I'm going to act as if this is the way I want it to end up, straight up and down. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn it all the way so that this points to 2 o'clock, and that's about 120 degrees. And then we're going to take our stop nut right down here. You see that? I'm going to take that and I'm going to turn that in until it stops. And that adjusts our temperature. And now, this won't go any further that way, but it will go all the way back here to shut off. Now my temperature's set. I'm going to put this discussion right on here, and that'll screw right onto the bonnet nut, or the packing nut. And then I'm going to put this on. Now, this particular handle, unlike the other handle that had the screw in the front, this handle happens to have a Allan wrench to stop it and to tighten it up and hold it on there. I'll have the right Allan wrench size in the comments section of this video. And then you just tighten this guy right up, right like that. Done. Now, that's a complete rebuild for the tub shower valve. And this right here, this diverter, in this case, this is a shower only, so this diverter will slow the water coming out or speed it up. If it was the tub, this diverter would allow the tub spout to come out, and if you go like this, it would turn it to the shower spout. That's it. The whole valve's completely rebuilt, no problems whatsoever. And we didn't just do 1 or 2 little pieces in there, so we know that this valve is going to be good for probably another 5 to 10 years. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and whatever else you do on here. I don't know. Thanks. It doesn't matter whether you're a 30-year plumber like myself or a do-it-yourself guy, a janitor. The hardest part about this whole valve, believe it or not, is removing those seats without stripping them. I can't tell you over the years how many times I have stripped the seats myself with as much finesse and seasoned tips that I know about, unsuccessfully getting these things done only because of that reason. And that's why we came up with this. I invented the Zip Seat Extractor that could be used with a power drill, with an impact gun, with any kind of screw gun. They're absolutely amazing at getting these seats out without stripping them. I've gotten seats out that have already been stripped by people who have attempted it and thought they were going to end up having to cut the valve out. Because let's face it, this is a $300–400 job to rebuild this thing. But if you end up stripping one of those seats, you're gonna have to cut that whole valve out. And whether that means cutting it out from the face, or cutting out the sheetrock from behind, or if you've got tile, cutting all the tile out, you're gonna have to rebuild all that. You're talking about $3,000 is the average price to rebuild, to replace a tub shower valve in someone's existing home. It's no joke. This right here prevents that from happening. I'm telling you, hands down, without this tool, you are not guaranteed to get this job done as quickly and easily as I showed you today.